Hi, I am Jaclyn Steele, and welcome to Self-Discovery. Howard Thurman so beautifully wrote, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." Coming alive. That, my friends, is what self-discovery is all about.
Wear that mask for.
All right, friends, welcome to today's episode of Self-Discovery with Jaclyn Steele. I am Jaclyn Steele, and I'm very glad that you are here. Today, we are going to talk about self-expression. Why? Because self-expression is our theme for June. Every month this year in this podcast, I've chosen a different theme, and each theme is meant to increase and up-level your particular and personal level of self-worth. Speaking of self-worth, the podcast name changeover is happening on June 22nd. So you will still be able to access all of these episodes, especially if you just type in my name, Jaclyn Steele, but there will be different cover art. So be on the lookout for that. The old cover, oh, bless its soul, will be laid to rest for now. And there is a new cover coming out, which I'm excited to share with you guys. And this podcast will be called Self-Worth with Jaclyn Steele. So if you need to search for it, if you haven't subscribed, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and leave a review because it means the world to me and it allows more people to see and hear and learn about this podcast and all the awesome information that is being shared on it. And yeah, you'll be able to access it. All of the other episodes, they should still be in the same folder, so to speak, online. So that will be happening June 22nd. That's like a breath of relief for me, or a sigh of relief, because I've been planning on changing the name of this podcast since the beginning of the year, but then had a baby a couple of weeks early, and life has been beautiful, but I've been drinking from a fire hydrant ever since. So that is the tea. Second, I said at the beginning of the year, I am going to do a weekly newsletter. Well, a weekly newsletter is just too much for me at this point in my life with a baby. So I think what I'm going to do is a monthly newsletter at the beginning of every month. And that will also have the downloadable PDF for the theme of the month and, something beautiful that you can print off and have around you to help you refocus your mind on your self-worth and elevating it. So if you want to be part of that, my newsletter is called The Scoop. It also is going to have cool podcast episodes, things that inspire me, people that inspire me, meditations, cool products that I have exclusive discounts just for my community. If you want to be a part of that, it's called The Scoop. You can sign up in the show notes, or you can sign up on my website, jaclynsteele.com. If you haven't signed up for Sacred Rebel Affirmations too, this is such a beautiful community. I send out several text messages a week or several text messages a month that are just meant to uplift you and love on you and make you feel amazing, because you are amazing. If you want to be a part of that, that is 480-531-6858. Once you opt in, type in the word sacred, SACRED, and you will automatically be added to that group and get those yummy text messages that will just lift you up. All right. Are you guys ready to vibe out today? Like I said, the theme this month is self-expression. Can I get an amen? I love me some self-expression, especially after not self-expressing for much of my life. So tell me if you are or feel any of the things that I'm about to list off, okay? Are you a people pleaser? Are you a wallflower? Are you afraid at any time of day or with any particular person? Maybe you are sometimes, maybe you are not, but afraid to say what's really on your mind. And what I mean by that is with some groups of people, you feel safe to say what you need to say, but with other groups of people you don't? Can you relate to that? Are you, this is specific, afraid to say where you really want to go to dinner? Afraid to wear the styles you really like because you feel like you'll stick out and that will make you feel self-conscious? Are you afraid to change your space to reflect what you really like instead of what's trendy or what your parents' style was? So more specifically there, what I mean is, do you buy things or style your space or your body in ways that actually feel reflective of you? Or are you looking at magazine trends or just following what your parents did or what your community does? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way, just wanting you to create some awareness around that. Are you conflict avoidant? Do you struggle with establishing healthy boundaries with people? Are you afraid to increase your prices because you question if you are worth it and if people will pay? Do you play it safe / tend to stay in your comfort zone? In general, do you do what your parents taught you to do or just emulate what they do? What was modeled for you, in other words. In general, do you believe what your parents believed and what they taught you to believe? Or do you have your own hybrid belief system? Again, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way to these things. I'm just wanting us to create some awareness. Because friends, let's take a deep collective breath together. Self-expression is amazing. Is it about style and dressing in a way that feels reflective of you? Oh yes, definitely. Is self-expression about the words that we say? 100%. Is self-expression about your space and the way you live in it? Yes. Does self-expression have anything to do with your level of self-worth and your self-image? Yes. Does self-expression relate to spirituality, no matter what religious affiliation or non-affiliation you have? Yeah. Self-expression is about walking in the world in a way that feels reflective of who you really are. And the reason this is important is because there's only one of you. Friend, if you do not express yourself in this lifetime, who you are dies with you. We need you to be you fully out in the world because you are part of an intricate fabric of amazing things that are happening. And if you don't self-express, that fabric will forever be changed. We need you. Self-expression, it's the way you dress and present yourself. It's the way you speak about yourself and to others. It's what you say when you find yourself in a conflict or what you don't say. It's a catalyst for feeling good in your skin. It's a way to up-level your self-worth. It's a way to really own what you believe and integrate it in ways that enhance your life. Self-expression, my friends, is essential to life. If it wasn't, then why would God give us a voice?
This episode of Self-Discovery is supported by Parker Clay. Parker Clay creates premium leather bags and goods that provide stable and dignified work for at-risk women in Ethiopia. Every item on their site shows how many hours of empowerment your purchase will create. I freaking love this company, as is evidenced by all of the items I have from them, which I'm going to share right now. I own the Mercado Signature Tote, the Miramar Backpack, the Eden Carryall, the Square Zip Wallet, Cord Tacos for Organizing, the Topa Mini Bucket Bag, the Abby Drawstring Backpack, the Rincon Tote, the Podaro, and my friends, the list goes on. I've also purchased many gifts from their site for my friends and family. My husband wears the Azosh bandana and mask combo, which has been great during this pandemic, and he loves it because it's stylish and also provides protection. Every single thing I have from them, I'm impressed by. You know the quality as soon as you touch the leather. It's so buttery soft and thick and gorgeous. I wear my Parker Clay pieces with pride, knowing they are stylish and providing dignified employment for some incredible and deserving people in Ethiopia. And as a side note, These items just get better with time because of the way that they are made. Visit parkerclay.com to purchase your next favorite bag. I'm telling you, you'll be hooked. And use code PC-JaclynS20 for 20% off your order. Again, that's PC-JaclynS20 for 20% off your order. You can find the link and the details in the show notes below. Okay, now back to the episode.
I want to talk about several things that I think are so important when it comes to self-expression. Number 1 is our voice. Number 2 is our style and surroundings. Number 3 is our spirituality. And number 4 is our self-worth and why it all ties together. I'm going to start with voice. You have a voice and you are meant to use it. I'm going to repeat that. You, dear listener, you have a voice and you are meant to use it. Like John Mayer said, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. You know the song. Don't do what I did, okay? I played the good friend, the good student, the good daughter, the good everything until it literally gave me hypothyroidism. And the metaphysical manifestation of thyroid issues is a lack of self-expression. It's like the words literally get caught in the throat. This does not need to be you. This does not need to be you. It takes guts and gumption, but you can express yourself with your words, whether that's in writing or through song or through literally saying what it is you need to say out loud to yourself or to others. Expressing yourself is all about energy, and not expressing yourself will dull and decrease your energy, while expressing yourself in healthy ways will elevate your energy and your confidence and your peace of mind and your health, etc. So let's use our voices. Are you with me? I know this requires guts and gumption, and I just read a book called The 5-Second Rule that really applies to this. And the idea is, anytime you're faced with something that you don't want to do, whether it's getting out of bed and not hitting the snooze button, saying something that you're scared to say, starting on a task you don't really want to do, making dinner, whatever it is, putting away your laundry, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just do it. Stop thinking about it. Stop overthinking about it. Stop overthinking about it, and just do it. So when it comes to using your voice and expressing yourself, if you feel like the words are getting caught in your throat, or you're overthinking, or you're fearful, or whatever, use the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch. Get it out. Do what you need to do. Okay, next thing when it comes to self-expression that I wanted to highlight and talk about was your style and your surroundings. Remember, I call surroundings like the space that you live in or the office you live in, basically any area you inhabit regularly, spend a lot of time in. Self-expression through your style and your surroundings is so important because we are not linear beings. There's so much cause and effect that happens in our lives on a daily basis. How do you feel when you dress in an outfit you love and that makes you feel confident? How do you feel when you walk into your bedroom or office or kitchen and it feels like a joyous, happy place to be? We have a finite amount of time on this earth and in this life. So why not enjoy it and allow your self-expression to be an art form infused everywhere you go and in every space you inhabit? You can be and create beauty wherever you are and wherever you go. How do you think it would make you feel to do that? I know for me, that immediately increases my frequency and the vibration in which I operate. It's pretty awesome, right? Because it's pretty simple. So wear the clothing you love, even if no one is around. And give yourself a budget to create a space you love. I mean, you spend a lot of time in it, right? You are worth investing in. even if it feels like an unnecessary investment from the outside. Expressing who we are is not frivolous. It sets off a positive energy domino effect. Got it? You still with me? I know that you can feel this energy coming through the microphone. Self-expression is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Again, who you are is unique to you. And if we don't get to see you in your fullness, that dies with you, and we are robbed of that. Don't rob us of the essence of who you are. We need you. Next, spirituality and self-expression. I love this one. Spirituality is an essential element of my life. I need to be grounded and calm because my fallback is anxious and busy. It's hard for me to relax. And so spirituality and doing spiritual practices, I do a lot of spiritual practice with skincare, taking care of my skin, taking care of myself, using those moments in the morning and at night to just breathe for a moment. When I neglect the spiritual part of me, I don't feel fully alive or embodied. I feel separate from my body. I feel disconnected. And I grew up, and I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but I grew up in a very, very conservative Christian household. And I'm so grateful for many of the values that were instilled in me, and I still consider myself a Christian. However, over the years, my 35 years on this planet, I have expanded my way of thinking around Christianity. I don't believe God can be put in any kind of box. And I think there's such a beauty and truth in so many spiritual practices. So I chose to follow my gut, follow the inklings, follow the nudges, and try different things in the spiritual realm. Or to put it another way, express myself spiritually. Self-expression and spirituality. For instance, I love oracle cards. I believe in the Akashic records, and I've talked about them a lot on this podcast. I do Akashic record readings. I also believe that God uses all kinds of different modalities to communicate. So I don't want to be limited to one modality because I believe God shows up in everything and everywhere. I also love incense and Palo Santo and yoga, and I love to use sound and music to connect with God. Had I stayed in the Christian box that was given to me in childhood with wonderful intentions, I would have missed out on so much connection and such a deep opening of my heart. I know for many of us, going outside the parameters of religion can be terrifying. And it was for me at first too. I felt like, oh my gosh, am I sinning? Am I doing something wrong? Should I be feeling shame here? But if you are feeling the nudge to explore God in all of God's glorious facets, that's okay. I deeply believe that God wants us to seek God and spend time experimenting spiritually and asking questions. It's really hard to believe something in your bones if you don't take the time to examine it. You are allowed to express yourself spiritually, even if it feels weird or scary or different from your upbringing. Like Billy Joel said, it's my life. We waste so much energy on what we think other people will think. You have permission to express yourself spiritually. Okay, last thing that I wanted to touch on was self-worth and how self-expression and self-worth are such sisters. This podcast, as you know, is all about self-worth, and self-expression is a major catalyst for self-worth. If you don't believe me, put a paintbrush in a child's hand and watch how they look when they are creating. Notice what happens after a mom who's neglected herself reacts after she's had a makeover. Watch the change in someone's posture when they finally stand up for themselves. Think about instances where you have been expressive, maybe with art or music or language or in a relationship or even in the way you solve a math problem. How did that make you feel? You can feel that feeling all the time. You can express yourself in every way. And I encourage you to do so. This life is so precious, and you are worthy of the attention that self-expression requires. So as I wrap this up, here's your homework if you so choose. Take 5 minutes, preferably today, and rapid fire write down ways that you want to express yourself. Maybe it's something you've been wanting to do for a while. Maybe it's something that's just bubbling up to the surface right now. Write it down. Then do those things as fast as you can. Start today, start tomorrow. Honor yourself, honor those inklings. You are big and bold and badass, and I'm so proud of you. Now go out into this world and unabashedly express yourself.